again, thanks for tuning in. You're listening to World Combat Sports. What's good? And you know what it is? It's fight week once again, and we just one day from Friday so everyone can think about the weekend. But hey, you know what it is? WCS want to give a salute to the supporters as always. Gotta let them know that they're appreciated. You know what I'm saying? We have some topics on deck. To throw on the grill a little bit. Have a weekend cookout. Triller gonna be on deck down here in the ATL. Ben Askren and Jake Paul. And I want to touch on some information that I heard and what I'm seeing right now with this entire fight, especially the main event with Ben Askren and Jake Paul. And of course, revisit the the open workouts of some of these, primarily the main event, and because it led to certain other things that the media is pretty much buzzing about, right? You see my thumbnail up there. Let me put it up there for you. Let me put my thumbnail up there so y'all can check it out. First of all, I want to give a shout out to Showtime PBC. They dropped the lineup. The calendar is hot. They have a lot of fights in store. It's a lot of heavy hitters on this roster. You know what I'm saying, for this lineup. I'm looking forward to it. Their fights won't just be basically isolated to the West Coast. It's going to be some fights in Texas, of course. And it would be great if some of the fights was down in the A, but I seriously doubt that shit going to happen. But, standing in the middle, man, I got to give a shout out to Stefan Nicholson. Not many people recognize a fighter that's, in my opinion, underrated. You know what I'm saying? The Equalizer is underrated. And dude is cut differently. You know what I'm saying? You ever heard his story? He had his ups and downs in life, man. He was incarcerated. He learned from it, built upon it, educated himself, rededicated himself as a man to doing better in life, has an amazing family, and he's been doing, big things as a person in general. And, from what I've been seeing, I've seen him fight in person and I, communicated with him on several occasions. He's provided me the opportunity for some interviews and so forth. I say it like this, he has a bout coming up with a Pochi. Stefan Nicholson is undefeated, 14 victories, 0 defeats, 13 coming by way of knockout. He's sitting at a 92.86% knockout ratio right now. 5'11", 73-inch reach, and his alias is the Equalizer. You know what I'm saying? Fighting out of Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Shout out, salute, recognize. You know what I'm saying? He's stepping in there against a Pochi this weekend who's 10-0, undefeated. Stefan Nicholson is coming off a first round knockout December 2020, and now he steps back in the ring just several months later to get it in. I'm not sure if people have access to watch the fight, but you should. You should watch the fight. Make sure you get every bit of condiment that you need, or freaking snacks or whatever. Already have them there, because it's gonna be a very entertaining and electric fight. I ain't gonna lie to you. Some people that step up, like you look at them and you kind of gauge on whether they're gonna have a boring fight or not. With Stefan Nicholson fights, you always feel that it's not if he's gonna bring the problems, it's when. You know what I'm saying? It's when he's gonna bring the problems. It's not if. There's no question when he steps in the ring if he's gonna show up and bring some electricity. It's only when the glove is gonna spark up the conversation. And I'm being honest. He's fighting on the undercard of Tony Harrison and Brian Perella, and that's a good look. They have Vito Melnicki on there again. I remember when Vito was just starting off. Now this kid is 8-0. 8-0. He's facing James Martin. But But I want to give a all points bulletin, you know, a bolo for this weekend to tune in to this fight card and be sure to check out Dion Nicholson, undefeated, underrated fighter, boxing out of Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Man, show the man some love because listen, he's a Kodiak Savage in the ring, but he's a cool ass dude out the ring. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's what I've gathered from him. I can't say anything more than that. I mean, less than that. You know what I'm saying? I can't say anything less. So all I'm doing, I'm asking fight fans that may not be familiar with him to tune in this weekend. And he is the WBC Intercontinental Champion. So tune in and check him out, man. You know what I'm saying? He's another exciting fighter hailing out of Tuscaloosa, Alabama that you need to pay attention to. He's in there with a solid, tough opponent in a Pochi. Both fighters are undefeated, and you know what they say? Somebody must go. Somebody has to go. Period. Somebody has the role. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to. I don't want to get him here and say, "Well, Dion's gonna knock him out in this amount of time and that amount of time." No, like I tell you before, it's not if he's gonna bring the problem. It's fucking when. It's when. If I would ask you to go take a look back at some of his fights. More so, check out the one with Earl Newman, very experienced. Amateur pedigree and professional. He went in there, and for a guy who's a knockout artist, he went in there and boxed his ass off. I was like, damn, dude, in here in the later round, still showing solid cardio. You know what I'm saying? The diesel fuel is still in the tank. That was good shit. I was like, damn, that's something I ain't never seen. Because every fight I seen in person, Dion was putting motherfuckers to sleep, in the worst way. So when he had the box, that's the first time I actually seen him box and didn't even know he had that other side of his boxing skill set. And then he chose to, show the world when he was on Showtime. So yeah, man, check him out. Check him out. Check him out for sure. You're doing yourself an injustice if you don't check out the Equalizer this weekend, man. You know what I'm saying? Check him out. Look him up on BoxRec. It's gonna be at the Shrine Exposition Center, Los Angeles, California. Saturday, April 17th. USA Fox. I know y'all gonna be tuned into that, man. Sir Ken is in the building. Salute to you. World Combat Sports. Salute. Salute to the wrenches and salute to the chat. Smash the like button all day. Appreciate you, Sir Ken, each and every time, man. Appreciate your support, man. Been around supporting the channel. I really appreciate you, bro. JJ Romano, GBP. Rep says Oscar has three choices for Golden Boy promotion. Three choices for July: Glenn Jersey Boy Tapia, Eddie Alvarez, or Victor Ortiz. So I was okay. I'll get back to your comment for sure. I'll get back to your comment. JJ Romano. Shout out to Dion Washington. You know what I'm saying? Salute my brother. Shout out to Romano in the building. Salute. Aaron Jones in the building. Salute to everyone. What's good? So, like I said before, man, it's two undefeated fights. I know Tony Harrison on the card. I know. Shout out to Tony Harrison. No disrespect. Shout out to my boy Vito Melnicki. But I'm asking y'all the goddamn show face. I'm asking y'all to show face and show Dion Equalizer Nicholson some love and check him out, man. Cause he's serious. He's the truth, man. Check him out. Get all your damn snacks and shit. Cause it's gonna be a very entertaining fight, man. And once again, he's fighting out Tuscaloosa, Alabama. He's in Gym New Era. He's over there with Coach Cuz. Willie Lowe. That's Deontay Wilder's gym. All them cats is training up out of there. Show him some love, man. Check him out. You won't be disappointed. We need to we need to see more Dion Nicholson, out here letting his hands go, showing his boxing skill set, because he definitely has an impressive, the way he go in there and perform. He definitely has impressive showings when he's on TV, especially. Now, when he's in the regional side at the lower fights, you best goddamn just stay in the same spot. And when the referee introduced the fighters, because it's gonna be a blink and then it's gonna be over, and you're gonna head to the parking lot. I'm just saying, but I'm just saying that's just the way it works with the equalizer. The volume is turned up, and that motherfucker turned down, and motherfuckers leave. He don't knock his opponent out. But on TV once again, man, televised fight, this shit is gonna be fire. This shit is gonna be motherfucking fire, y'all. It's a fight I'm looking forward to. I hope I'm able to see it while I'm watching the Triller card. I'm definitely gonna try to tune in and have them both up, because from what I'm hearing, the Wi-Fi is good to go and it's solid. So yes, once again, it's on and popping. 14-0 undefeated Dion Nicholson, training out of Tuscaloosa, Alabama, fighting out of Tuscaloosa, Alabama. You know what it is, man. Check him out. He's going in there against Apoche, 10-0. Dion Nicholson, 14-0. Both undefeated, and somebody's has to go. L-Dub in the building. What's good, man? Hey, be sure you check out L-Dub, man. Go subscribe to his channel and check him out, man. Dropping all the news. The news, the boxing news media content behind the scenes, and doing breakdowns on his channel, man. So check him out. Support his channel. Big Dog, salute WCS. Shout out to Big Dog in the building. Salute WCS. PBC coming through with solid fights. Absolutely. Absolutely. A WBA eliminator cruiserweight. It's absolutely a WBA eliminator. Yes, indeed. It is. And looking at cruiserweight, it's been a while since we had, I think, a black fighter as a champion up there in a minute. You know what I'm saying? Especially fighting for the super title. That'd be huge. That'd be huge, man. I truly believe Dion Nicholson has what it takes to get that title. Real talk. Yeah, I truly believe that. So we're gonna keep that shit lit, turned up, keep the burners damn hot, and tune in this weekend for this fight, the 17th. It's 2 days away. FS1 Nicholson versus Poacher starts at 7 p.m. East Coast. Appreciate that info. And put that up there for y'all. But yeah, that's why I put them up there, on the Showtime card, man, because you need to read what he put up there. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure if y'all actually, seeing what the tweet that he put out. Did y'all read it? Did y'all read that? Dion said, "I won't smoke with anybody holding the world title. My time is now. I won't smoke with anybody holding a world title. My time is now." That's all he needs to say. He's ready, and he won't smoke with everybody with a title. So right now, the WBA eliminator, man, is looking real good. Shout out to Mitch in the building, man. Salute to you, my brother. What's good? What's good? He said, "Come back, what up?" Saw some UK chumps hating on PBC schedule like they're affiliated with other networks, YouTube gumps. Man, hey, Mitch, you know how it is. I don't want to come on here and talk about other individuals who I know just hating just because certain fighters are attached to the promotion, and also probably because I wore the PBC jacket up here, which, by the way, I didn't order that shit online. It's official. You know what I'm saying? However you want to perceive it, it's official. But they can hate on the fight card all they want. The fight card is fire. And I like them making, doing lives of content other channels are putting up. So your content is basically a reaction. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like a post live reaction to what another channel is talking about. You want to go caveat to that because you want that channel to respond to you. That's all it is. It's called bum media. That's what it's called. It's called bum media. You got a bunch of bums out here looking at other channels, hating, and giving those entities so much power. You know what I'm saying? That they're making content about it, and that's all they do. They talk about other channels' content instead of creating their own. Dion Nicholson, he said Laurie got moved to May 1st. Yeah, man. Shout out to Eris Landy Laura, man. He's not one of my favorite fighters, but he can fight, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm waiting on the PBC on Fox schedule now. Salute WCS and try. Andrew Charles in the building. Salute to you, my brother. What's good? What's good? Nixon versus Poche has been elevated to co-main. Yeah, it's the co-main. Correct. I thought I said that. Yeah, it is the co-main. I thought I did say that. Mitch say fight looks solid to me. I would like Mar Charlo to get better opponent, but the world ain't perfect. Champ got to stay busy. Now that right there, it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? But, let me give one last shout. Dion Nicholson, man, salute to you heading in there. After this live, man, it's gonna be busy for me. But I wish you nothing but the best, my brother. Salute. Go in there and represent. I don't need to tell you what you already know. We all got faith in you. We support you, and we definitely gonna salute you heading into the battlefield to get this win and then go on and get that damn championship, bro. Let's get it. So here is the actual fight card. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's a heavy ass fight card, right? I think it has a lot of fireworks right here. So I asked, people on, IG, what's their top 3 fights on this card? You know what I'm saying? The top 3 fights, and you have to include, first and foremost, you have to include, the undisputed. You have to go with Jamel Charlo and Brian Castano, July 17th. You have to. That's big. I had what I say about the Charlo brothers. Jamel Charlo is fighting for undisputed, bro. I mean, like Jason Rosario never really called out Jamel Charlo after he won the belts. But all of a sudden the fight comes up and I say, okay, cool. This is what I'm fucking talking about. Let's get the fight. Boom. He went in there and calls freaking Jason Rosario the dude, the defibrillator. Here comes the defibrillator. Here comes the defibrillator. Here comes the defibrillator. This mother was convulsing all over the mat and shit, jumping, pumping his chest and shit. I'm like, what the fuck? That was a jab, shouty. What are you doing, Jason Rosario? But anyway, he took the belts, and now he has Brian Castano. Castano can fight. Castano is not a slouch or a pushover. This is gonna be a fire ass damn matchup right here. This is gonna be nice, real talk. So that's the numero uno right there. That's numero uno. Jamel Charlo going for undisputed at super welterweight. That is numero uno. Period. Number 2, of course, is a no-brainer. All right. When we're looking at Benavidez, Stefan Fulton, Maul, Charlo, Nordino Bali, Nonito Donaire, Luis Neri, and Brandon Figueroa, and then Rigondeaux and Casemiro. So my second fight is, of course, Gervonta Davis and Mario Barrios. Of course. Gervonta Davis, at his age, is contending for his third weight division. Say what you want. I know he have criminal and legal stuff pending, but we're talking about boxing right now. So he's moving up to 140, which he pretty much proved me wrong. I said way back when that I don't see him moving up to 140 anytime soon. But he proved me wrong. He's moving up to 140, and he's basically zoning in on what I believe is the more appropriate selection for him to go up there and get a title. Yes, that's the more appropriate selection for him to go at the 140 and get a title. Mario Barrios. And after seeing Mario box, I seen his fight with Ryan Call on Gervonta Davis and Leo Santa Cruz on the card. I like what he brought. He did have some issues in there at certain points of time where, you know, he was taking, he was taking some punches. I felt that he could have used better foot movement, but sometimes these fighters just want to stand flat-footed and bang it out. This is a tailor-made style for Gervonta Davis, and people need to understand it don't matter if a fighter want to box on the outside with Gervonta or box on the inside. When he commits to his game plan on what he is choosing to go after, that's Gervonta Davis. How he chooses to offensively stalk you, he's gonna go get it. You can be on the outside, you can be on the inside. Either way it goes, he's going to get to the target the best way he know how, and he's going to give you that pain. Now it's up to the opposition to shut that shit down and break the rhythm. It's up to them. But Gervonta is that dude. Gervonta is that guy. And they comes in number 2. Now, we have Mel Charlo and Brian Castano at number 1, Gervonta Davis and Mario Barrios at number 2. So we have pretty much 7 fights remaining on this thumbnail. The third one that comes into me, I'm just looking at it from a perspective like, what's going to be the most entertaining without the prediction, without the automatic assumption that this person is going to win. You know what I'm saying? When I look at Chris Colbert, Yorkis Gamboa, I say, it's going to be a good fight. But looking at Gamboa's age and everything, Chris Colbert should get the win. And then I'm looking at David Benavidez and Jose Uzkostegi, right? And I've seen him go in there and have a tough one with Caleb Plant. I've seen Lionel Thompson in person take it to Uzkostegi, right? And David Benavidez, man, is one of the best super middleweights out right now, period. But that's not my third fight. Stefan Fulton, man, the fight he had with Angelo Leo, oh my God. I'm a fan. This dude fought different than we're usually seeing him fight. And he did a perfection with his performance. Man, that shit was goddamn entertaining as hell between them two. More so the way Stefan Fulton went in there and showed his craftiness, man, his discipline, his IQ, his education. You know what I'm saying? His cardio, his will, his tenaciousness. He just showed all of that standing in the motherfucking pocket and boxing from the opening bell to the finish. That shit was on fire, but it's not my third fight, though. You know what I'm saying? Rigondeaux going in there against John Casimiro. I'm saying to myself, damn, this right here has all the potential to be fireworks. You know what I'm saying? This has all the potential to be fireworks. Real talk. I say Rigondeaux's been talking that shit to Casimiro. And Casimiro say, yeah, bring it on, Filipino sensation. Casimiro is a problem. He's a problem down there at bantamweight. Casimiro is a motherfucking problem. I was hoping to see Casimiro against Inoue. In a way. I was hoping to see Casimiro against Inoue before he knocked out Jason Maloney. But it didn't happen. Now we have Rigondeaux finally, who dropped down. The oldest he is, he's dropping down in weight. Picks up a title. Now he's in there for another title shot against Casimiro. Man, come on, man. That's a damn good fight. Then you have Nordine Bali and Nonito Donaire. Jesus. Nonito Donaire coming off a loss to Inoue. And then he gets the slot right next door to WBC for Nordine Bali. Who does that? That rarely happens in the bigger weight classes. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I could be petty about it, but it rarely happens. When it does happen, they look like this. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being honest. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being honest. Because look, Sergey Deryanchenko, perfect example. He had 2 IBF mandatory shots, failed. They automatically slide him over to the WBC and get a shot at Mar Charlo. Nonito Donaire loses a damn tough, exciting fight against Inoue. He gets moved and shifted over there to the WBC for even a better damn sanctioning body, so to speak. He gets to fight Nordine Bali, which is going to be a tough fight for Bali. It is. It's going to be a damn tough fight. People need to understand that. This is going to be a damn tough fight. But my third fight, I'm going to be in. It ain't Luis Nery and Brandon Figueroa. Heck no. That ain't it. And it's not, Stefan Fulton, getting the winner of Nery and Figueroa. It's not. My third best fight on this card right now, I'm going to be honest with you, is Rigondeaux Casemiro. That's my third. That's coming in third on this PBC roster. You got Charlo Castano, then second. I want to see Davis Barrio, and then third, Rigondeaux Casemiro. The reason why I'm looking at Donaire Obali, I seen Obali fight. I even seen him. I was at the fight when he fought Rashid Warren. I seen him a fight. I'm not saying he's a slouch. I'm not saying he's freaking. He's not entertaining or whatever. But Nonito Donaire, man, he's a tough veteran in the sport. You know what I'm saying? He's been champion. And when it comes down to it, this is a fight that I want to assume, I want to predict that Nonito Donaire should be able to win this fight against Nordine Bali. But with Rigondeaux, I'm just curious. It's a lot of intrigue to this fight, Rigondeaux and Casemiro. So that's my third. It's a lot of intrigue to that fight. And plus, I like Rigondeaux taking risks, man, at his age, dropping down the way he did. I like that shit. Illmatic in the building. Salute to you, bro. Illmatic in the building. He says, salute, bro. PBC is giving boxing fans good fight. Absolutely. Absolutely. Anybody saying anything different, they just, using that itis, that hating itis. They're saying that hate-itis. They're just hating just because certain fighters are associated with the PBC. You know what I'm saying? And, they'll be the same ones complaining about Top Rank. Top Rank. But they'll boost up the zone. And then they'll boost up Tyson Fury. They'll boost up only the fighters they want you to be aware of right now. I mean, come on, stay consistent, man. Stop it. Tank is setting himself up to be the front runner to face the winner of Taylor versus Ramirez for undisputed 140. I don't necessarily agree with that. I don't wholeheartedly agree with that. But a part of me saying, is I cannot totally disagree with you on it, because Floyd Mayweather is a very strategic individual. And right now, we've heard in the past when it comes to media, we heard Teofimo Lopez, who's basically vying for that same position that you're talking about, Illmatic. And we're talking on Gervonta Davis being associated with Floyd Mayweather, and how he's moving him around the right way, you know what I'm saying, to certain positions to make that money. He's already on PPV, and he's basically putting him in a position in one of the hotter divisions at 140. And, we do have an undisputed coming up. So I'm curious to know that Illmatic, who's going to cross the finish line. Is it going to be Gervonta Davis? Is it going to be Teofimo Lopez? Because those are top two names that I've seen, I heard rather, that may potentially be in the damn shoot for that undisputed. That's if the winner doesn't vacate. That's if Josh Taylor don't vacate. I don't see Josh Taylor moving up to 140. That's the good thing. All right. Jose Ramirez has been noted as saying he want to move up to down 147. So cool. We here in the building. What's good, man? Salute to you, my brother. What's good? I don't really see it as Tank moving up to 140. I see it as him taking a fight at 140. Tank will float around a few divisions to stack up these accolades. More power to the champ, Tank Davis. When I say moving up, it's more so like if I want to pretty much just itemize, verbiage. I would call it moving up because that's what he's doing. Like he's going from 135 to 140. You know what I'm saying? He's moving up to 140. Moving doesn't mean you're permanently there. You're just moving up to 140. I think we're simulated a lot with these boxing terms. Like when people say certain things, they think, oh, it's only one way. Just like we said, Tank was moving down to 130. He did. He moved down to 130, knocked out Liz Santa Cruz, and then he motherfucking moved to 140. Now he about to move to 140 and fight Mario Barrios. So it doesn't mean he's staying there. It's just basically a boxing term to say, yeah, he's shifting. He's accepting the fight up at 140. It's good because I basically was telling, the audience, I didn't think Gervonta would move up to 140 anytime soon. And he proved us wrong. And it's good for Gervonta, though, because he really doesn't have to cut weight. He really doesn't have to cut weight like that, like he would at 130. And he can feel a little bit better. Now, some people have said that Gervonta doesn't have the power at 135 that he does at 130 and all this other stuff. Listen, Gervonta is going to come in there and give you the motherfucking fire stick, regardless if you want what's on it or not. He's going to give you the fire stick. And he's going to force you to watch that motherfucker too while he putting on a show. That's damn Gervonta Davis, man. I'm not pretty much worried about what he's going to do at 140. I know he's going to go in there and show out. That's it. But I respect what you're saying, bro. I mean, I get it. Sir Ken said, King Mitch, salute, I agree, but the talk of the town is Davis versus Barrios. Was approached by WBA for this fight, and they accepted. Hey, if they approached him or Floyd had something to do with it, I look at it this way. It's a damn solid move for Gervonta to continue to improve his boxing credentials. The problem and optimism that we have out here, we're just, we're kind of biting our nails to say, damn, is Gervonta going to stay out of trouble outside the ring? Because we already know he's the truth when it comes to boxing. You know what I'm saying? He's a 3-time world champion. He's about to be a 4-time world champion. He's about to be a 3-weight division champion. That's no ifs, ands, or buts. He's going to give Mario Barrios the business. Indeed. Tone Brown in the building. What's good, man? He said Rigondeaux would need a high punch output if he would pull out a win over Casemiro. I agree, man. I agree. He's not going to be able to do that shit when he picked up the title. That damn that right hook pivot out. The same shit that motherfucking Otto Wallin was doing to damn that's fucked up. Now I totally had a brain for Otto Wallin was doing to Dominique Brazil. They was just damn checking the hook out the pocket, pivot out, reset, 1-2, same thing. That's the same thing Rigondeaux was doing. And you're not going to be able to do that against Casemiro. You're not going to be able to do that. And I might even say, I'm curious if I even say this, that Rigondeaux might touch the canvas in this fight against Casemiro. He might touch the canvas, man. No one truly knows how old Rigondeaux is. We don't know. I don't want to go through the Luis Ortiz shit when every time he faced Deontay Wilder, they added on 10 years. You know what I'm saying? But I truly don't know how old Rigondeaux is. I don't know if he's 66 and a half. I don't know if he's a member of AARP. I don't know when he leaves the boxing gym. He check into assisted living. I don't know. I don't know if he's a member of hospice care. I don't know. No one truly knows the age of Rigondeaux. We don't know, bro. D Hodges in the building. What's good? Salute to you, my brother. What up, World Combat Sports? Salute. Sir Ken, salute. Tone B. D Hodges, salute, big bro. Barrios will see some things on that night he haven't faced yet. Also, it is next to impossible to find sparring even close to Tank. Well, I can say that. I believe you can find sparring that's close to Tank as far as throwing some heavy shots. Of course, those fighters might need to be in a different weight class, sort of, kind of. You know what I'm saying? To get the full effect, because Tank does, when he get off and he gives you that 8 to 15 punch combination, and you're gonna have to deal with it. Shit, you're gonna have to deal with that motherfucker. I believe those individuals that's preparing for Tank, they definitely get heavier sparring partners. To try to prepare themselves. They work on their core a lot, because Tank Davis will dig to the body. That shit is underrated with Tank. Tank will dig to your motherfucking rib cage. He will try to find out what organs are right there for his motherfucking destruction. Give me that kidney. Yeah. Let me break 4 or 5 ribs. He will give you that shit. He will become the bone collector. If you stay there too fucking long. He will collect your chin, your jawbone. You be calling that man Samson, for real. That's what Gervonta Davis would do if you stay around. So it's gonna be up to what I seen with Mario in his last fight, bro. You cannot stand flat footed in front of Tank like that, bro. This shit is not gonna last 5 rounds if Barrios does that. And then again, I want to know what Tank we're gonna see. What Tank are we gonna see? Are we gonna see the Tank out the gate, box the first 2 rounds like he did Leo Santa Cruz? Because every fight plan is different. We know that. But are we gonna see him box the first couple of rounds and then start to turn up the pace? Because what I seen in Mario last fight is that Ryan Carr was having success with him in the early rounds. But Carl, he couldn't really maintain that pace like that. He was landing some solid shots, but he couldn't maintain the pace. And Barrio started coming on, breaking them down. And end up getting a stoppage. Absolutely. Sure, even if he does win, he will hit the canvas at least once. Yeah, I think Rigondeaux will definitely be reclined in front of the lights. I don't know if he's going to stay down there. I don't know if he's going to turn to an elder inside the ring this week. But I do look at it like he's going to face some issues. Real talk. I do believe he's going to face some issues with the Casemiro. Casemiro, I like him. He's a solid fighter. The one big fight I want to see in the bantamweight division, like I told you, is an Inoue and Casemiro. I see Casemiro winning this fight. I do. I really want to see a unification between Inoue and Casemiro at bantamweight. And also shout out to my man Josh Greer Jr. I really want to see him get back in title contention and step back in there, man. For real. It'd be good if he can rematch Planea and get that shit out the way so people will leave that shit alone. But, shout out to Don't Blink. Real talk. Shout out to Don't Blink. Let's keep it moving. So if y'all haven't heard, right, They're comparing Jerome Ennis to the welterweight Roy Jones. What y'all think about that? They're comparing Jerome Ennis to the welterweight Roy Jones. Of course, I have my own take on the situation, but I just want to hear what y'all have to say about that. They're comparing Jerome Ennis to Roy Jones. So let me look at it this way. The performance that he had against Sergey Lipinets was absolutely impressive. But that was the best performance, in my opinion, that Jerome Ennis has had in his career with a top level opposition. Arguably, Sergey Lipinets is his toughest competition to date. And he passed that shit with flying colors. Now, a lot of people are going to compare that shit to how Mikey performed against Sergey Lipinets and how Jerome Ennis performed. But we're talking about two different fighters here. Mikey Garcia is not as versatile as Jerome Ennis. Jerome Ennis was able to get the stoppage a round before Mikey Garcia earned his only knockdown in the fight. Mikey Garcia took it to the final bell. Jerome Ennis stopped him in dominating, blistering, devastating fashion. He had the better grade. Comparing him to Roy Jones Jr., a welterweight, is a little bit overboard for me right now. It's a bit overboard for me right now. I just can't put that label on Jerome Ennis. But yet, when I tell you, I can't sit up here and take away from Jerome Ennis. And I'm gonna tell you, dude was exciting to watch. Jerome Ennis, the way he was switching it up, he was just showing, all that hard work and dedication. In the younger years of boxing, like as young as he is, right? He's like 23 years old, and he has over 25 professional fights already. Once again, you have a fighter. Matter of fact, let me bring this shit up. Once again, let me bring up Jerome Ennis. Shout out to Jerome Ennis, man. Finally arriving. Jerome Ennis has arrived. Jerome Ennis is 27-0, dog. Jerome Ennis is 27-0 and 23 years old. 27-0, 25 knockouts, and he's 23 years old. Once again, 23 years old. Now I need to share screen a little bit, and I'm gonna take this thumbnail down. I want to share screen right now, and let's talk about some particulars with Jerome Ennis. You know what I'm saying? Because Jerome Ennis is indeed, I'm not gonna lie, he's fresh air. You know what I'm saying? He's a breath of fresh air when it comes to throwing a wrench in that welterweight division. People have been getting a little bit too comfortable listening to, Errol Spence and him ducking Bud Crawford. Now that Errol Spence has Jerome Ennis on the same side, what next? Fight Jerome Ennis. This is Jerome Ennis' record. They have orthodox up there, but goddamn it, they need to come up with a term that includes unorthodox and orthodox. You know what I'm saying? Together, a different term without orthodox being in it. So look at these fights early on in the career that people need to understand how boxing works. And shout out to Team Williams, they understand it. Shout out to Team Williams, Michael Williams Jr. on 150. They had a seminar, and him and Roy Jones is up there educating the local people. But shout out to Michael Williams Sr., who understands this process. So look at Jerome Ennis' record. Let's count these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. The first 13. The first 13 fights are, pretty average type fighters, so to speak. He was earning some knockouts. He was doing what he's supposed to. Let's go on. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, And then you get to this. You get to a man, Armando Alvarez, who's 18-0. Looks good for the vacant World Boxing Council United States, the USMB silver welterweight title. Now, what's important about this, where I say that Michael Williams Sr. gets it, is because these secondary titles that's in boxing is there for you to fight for, shawty. Those titles are there for you to fight for. So why not fight for them? When you see the WBC and the USMBC silver, those secondary titles are there for fighters to fight for. Fight for them, goddammit. Do it. Put them on your credentials. Like James Toney told me, I count all my motherfucking titles. All of them. So check this out. Goes up to 24-5. And you just see how it cleans itself up. He started cleaning up his competition. He started cleaning it up. How many fights was he in to do that, though? 14, 15, 16. That's 17 losses right there. 17. That's 10 losses. 18. His 19th professional fight. He starts to clean it up and improves his competition, so to speak, when it comes to the paperwork. The reason why I'm mentioning this is you have so many people out here that'll look at certain fighters' resume and then they'll say, oh, they ain't fought nobody, right? And that's the common language. I've said it myself. That's why I'm sticking to my integrity and I'm going through Jerome Ennis' resume, just like I did Errol Spence, just like I did Devin Haney, just like I did a lot of other fighters, Teofimo Lopez. You know what I'm saying? Yokis Gamboa. I mean, the list goes on for Fury, Joshua, Wilder. So therefore, I'm putting this out there because there's a format in professional boxing. Fighters will build up their record, and the individuals that they're stacking on their box rec and they're knocking out or winning via decision will always happen in repetition. Because you have fighters out here that's fighting for a check, and you have fighters out here that's fighting for legacy. And a lot of these fighters that's out here, at one point in time, they may have wanted to be something special in boxing, but they wasn't able to accomplish it. So therefore, they start fighting for a check. You're never going to find fighters that are absolute killers from 1 all the way to 15. You're not going to find it. So you're going to have, individuals with fighters on their record that's okay. But check this out. The shit changes when they start putting you in the conversation at the top. That's different. When the language changes, when you become a world champion and you being compared to the top names. Now your record there's more scrutiny placed on you, that you have to understand that individuals like myself will go back and scrub your record and say, well, we're still waiting for that person to fight this, that, and the other. With Jerome Ennis, there's no way I can compare him to the Roy Jones because his best competition to date is Sergey Lipinets, who fought Mikey Garcia and lost his title, who stepped up to 47 to fight Errol Spence and lost. Sergey Lipinets is an absolutely different opponent than Errol Spence, Sean Porter, Keith Thurman, Terrence Crawford. Totally different opponent, totally different skill set. So I can't really grade him and compare him to no Roy Jones Jr., but I can say this. I'm excited that he's arrived, and I'm excited to see him in the welterweight division. And also, I'm excited to see him on the same side as Errol Spence. Because what's going to happen now? Are y'all going to dog out Jerome Ennis to build up Errol Spence? Are y'all going to try to take Jerome Ennis and put him off on Terrence Crawford so you can still savor the moment and praise the shit out of Errol Spence? I mean, what's going to happen with this shit now? What's going to happen? Because you can't just put Jerome Ennis off on Terrence Crawford because he can switch hit. He can use his left or right as a jab. You can't do that. You have to understand that the dilemma has been for quite some time with Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. They want to talk about different sides of the street and shit. Jerome Ennis is on a side of the street where he could get one of the biggest fights of his career for not one title, not two titles, potentially three. Who knows? Ennis had some shit for sure. Roy Jones was on a different level, though. I'm gonna leave that there. I understand the comparison, but not quite in my opinion. No disrespect to Ennis, he's on his way to greatness. Hey, Ennis, like I said before, I'm not taking anything away from his performance with Sergey Lipinets. But who is Sergey Lipinets at 16-1 at that time? Now Jerome has goddamn presented him with his second defeat. He's 16-2-1. And Sergey Lipinets is going to catapult the conversation that Jerome Ennis is Roy Jones-esque. Man, stop that shit, y'all. Stop it. We haven't seen enough of Jerome Ennis with top-level opposition. We need to see a matchup like Julian J. Rock Williams and Jared Hurd. We need to see a matchup like that. On that night, J. Rock shined like the brightest star in the boxing constellation. He couldn't be denied. We need to see that type of performance with a high level, a top tier opposition in Jerome Ennis in order for us to even come close to comparing him to anybody. But Roy Jones, come on, stop that shit. Stop it. Not even close. Mr. 21, salute. Alexander in the building, what's good with you, bro? Salute to you. Trick Noti, what's good? Shout out to Trick Noti and Alexander in the building. Dion say, stay on Cold World Combat Sports on those resumes. Yeah, for real. I have to stay on code, man. I have to stay on code with the resumes, man. You know what I'm saying? Because when it comes down to it, you have to look at how many fights that it took. Just like I said, Errol Spence. Errol Spence was fluctuating up and down for at least 18 fights of his career, from super welterweight to welterweight. Look it up for yourself. When I'm on a couple other channels and I'm saying that shit, they say, "What the fuck are you talking about? He's been at welterweight." No, he hasn't. Check his initial fights when he started fighting. How many fights he fought at 154? Check how many times he was, fluctuating in weight from 147 to super welterweight. Check it out for yourself. I would say this all the time. He's really 12-0. He's really 12-0, which brings the conversation that much closer when it comes to Terrence Crawford on what his resume looks like. Because Errol Spence decided to settle down with his last 12 fights or whatever, if I'm not mistaken. So take a look at it. People just want to say, "Oh, he got the best resume." Terrence Crawford can't compare. Look how many times that he was fluctuating up in weight before he decided to settle down and be disciplined. Let me stop sharing this. But that's Boots Ennis right there, man. 23, 27-0, 25 knockouts, man. His best competition was Sergey Lipinets, a former champion at junior welterweight. That's all I got to say about that. But just because he fights Sergey Lipinets, who the fuck said that he was goddamn Roy Jones-esque? That shit is some bullshit. That's insane. That's asinine, like Stephen A. Asinine, 10, 11, and goddamn 23. If they fought next, I think Boots beats Ortiz. Now, okay, let's talk about that D Hodges. D Hodges up here making motherfucking sense. If Jerome Ennis and Virgil Ortiz fight next, I go off the performance that Virgil Ortiz had with Maurice Hooker being stopped because of hurt hand. You know what I'm saying? Yes, he was dropped, but Maurice Hooker's been dropped before, but with a hurt hand, right? Good fight. And then you go off the performance with Sergey Lipinets and Jerome Ennis. I truly believe Jerome Ennis will beat Virgil Ortiz right now. That's just my opinion. What y'all think? Y'all let me know what you think about that. If Jerome Ennis comes in there, and the way he's able to provide those flashes, man, those different looks, and make it look beautiful, accurate, surgical, punctual. On Virgil Ortiz, who's sitting up here telling people, well, people saying, why my face all scratched up? Those was glove burns. Bro. Okay. So what happens when you have high guard like that? Okay, if somebody's punching your gloves, then you're providing them with a method to basically damage you and degrade you if you're gonna have your gloves that high. I'm not saying you don't know what you're doing. You got a damn good coach. All right. I'm not saying that, but you're sitting up here explaining to the boxing public that the marks on your face came from Maurice Hooker hitting your gloves and no glove burns. What do you think Jerome Ennis is gonna do? You might come out that motherfucker looking like they about to make Saw 5. I mean, if you think you didn't see the amount of punches he was throwing and how he was switching it up and how accurate he was, man, you in for a big ass problem. And I really want to know what the people think. Virgil Ortiz, Jerome Ennis. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Speak your mind. Who do you see winning that fight? We're not talking about your Dinas Ugas. If Jerome Ennis was to face Virgil Ortiz next, who do you see winning that fight, people? I agree. Boots beats Virgil Ortiz right now. Okay, Tone Brown, he put it out there. 21 Strong say, let it be known, there's nor will there ever be another Roy Jones. Hey, talk to him. Talk to him. There's no way I can disrespect the legend like that and say Jerome Ennis is Roy Jones-esque. It's some shit Roy Jones was doing that you had to be blessed with. You have to be birthed with that gift. I even asked him, when he was in the press conference one time, I was like, do you think it's going to be entirely difficult to teach your fighter a style that you was blessed with? Like, if no one else has the Roy Jones style, like, I'm not talking about the mimic and the mannerisms. I'm talking about the speed. I'm talking about him being able to use his legs the way he did, the quickness, the power to go along with the speed, the timing. I mean, he was blessed with a lot of good shit. And it's no way, no how that you're respecting a legend like that by saying Jerome Ennis is that guy. I mean, that's nonsense. That's nonsense. 21 say, yep, Ennis beats Ortiz, Ugas. Andrew say, I know that fight. I want to see Boots versus Ortiz. I want to see that fight too. I want to see more people talk that fight up. Stop taking sides. Stop sitting up here trying to goddamn be nice because Robert Garcia is the freaking trainer. No, be honest with yourself, man. Give Boots his respect. Boots has arrived right now. Just like I give Virgil Ortiz his respect when he went in there and fought Maurice Hooker. But also keeping it clear and concise from what I've seen in both of their performances of recent, I have to give the edge to Jerome Ennis just with his boxing style alone. Of course, it's boxing. And of course, some people are going to say, well, we need to see Jerome Ennis go into the late rounds. That's what Virgil Ortiz is going to break him down. Listen, it's some shit that might go down, but I don't like prognosticating, shit just to build another fighter up. I just have to give you my assumption. It might be dead ass wrong or it might be spot on. But Virgil Ortiz and Maurice Hooker are like, man, Maurice Hooker was having his moments. Virgil Ortiz was having his moments. But when Jerome Ennis turned the light on Sergey Lipinets, he kept that motherfucker on until he decided to shut that bitch off. He was kept that light on so he can see all those punching. Pop, 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 pop. And then it got a little dizzy and motherfucking fuzzy. It got a little gray up in that motherfucker. And then you got the low wattage bulb. Shit kept blinking on and off. And before you know it, 2, 3. Motherfucking towel, goddammit. Throw in the towel. Throw in the motherfucking towel. Ennis versus Ortiz will be a big fight in late 2022. Damn, you think late 2022 or early 23? Wow. So you're giving them a whole year to marinate? Let me ask you this, Ken. Who are they supposed to fight during that time? They can't go down the ladder right now. He just knocked out Maurice Hooker. And then we're talking about ranking. Jerome Ennis was ranked below Sergey Lipinets. He just knocked out Lipinets. So who else are they going to fight across the board to keep the damn boxing masses interested? Who else? Who can they fight? I mean, none of them are world champions right now when you're talking about the super titles. None of them. Neither one of them. So, man, that fight need to happen 2021. That shit need to happen. I'll give early 2022. You know what I'm saying? But late 2022, ooh, I don't know, man. That fight needs to happen soon. In the next, I would say 10 months. Let's say 10 months, give or take. Twin say WCS Ennis beats Danny too and may stop him. One thing I have to accredit Danny Garcia is that he does have a motherfucking beard and an official jawbone. Danny Garcia is tough. Yeah, I have to give him his props. Danny Garcia is tough, man. He's tough. Jerome Ennis stopping him? I don't know, man. If he's having success like he did against Sergey, and once again, I cannot, no way, shape, or form compare Danny Garcia's style to Sergey Lipinets. I'll be doing myself a disservice as media. You know what I'm saying? There's no way I can compare that shit. I can't compare Danny Garcia's style to Sergey Lipinets. So it's gonna be a whole different fight. But if he does go in there and stop Danny Garcia, that's only going to boost his Wall Street in the sport of boxing. And then that's even going to put people in the seat that say, you know what? I want to see that damn Virgil Ortiz, Jerome Ennis. I want to see Errol Spence. I want to see Terrence Crawford face Jerome Ennis. It's going to start, highlighting his name for people to say, put him in the picture. Frame that shit. Let's go. Hooker is a little harder than Lipinets. I don't know, man. Like I enjoyed watching Hooker have his moments in the Virgil Ortiz fight. He looked solid, man. I was like, damn, Crawford them and B&B, they've been doing their motherfucking job out there. Hooker looked solid. But he broke down, he ended up degrading, fragmented, pieces start falling all over the ring, and he ended up hurting his hand. But people were saying that Virgil Ortiz was dropping his head, and man, come on, man, I can't go with that. I can't sit up here and say Virgil Ortiz was being dirty by ducking his head so Maurice can hit the top of his head. In that case, goddamn, hit his ass with an uppercut. I mean, it's boxing. Change that shit up. Both have a case for getting a title shot at 147. They should fight each other, and the winner gets through. The loser can bounce back. They are young. Absolutely, I agree with that, Tom. Real talk. Perfect. Both of them are young enough to goddamn rebound. Look, both of these fighters are going to be champions. Super champions. They're going to be super champions. I believe Virgil Ortiz is definitely going to get a belt. Jerome Ennis is definitely going to get a belt. It's only a matter of time. And then to put some mustard on this shit, They're not going to receive it in the email like Yordenis Ugas. They're going to actually fight somebody for the belt. I'm pretty sure of it. Real talk. I'm pretty sure of it. I don't foresee them receiving that motherfucker in the inbox. You have mail. You have mail. D. Hodges in Ortiz's defense. Okay. Andrew said, Boots too hungry to lose to Danny. Danny is good, but I don't consider Danny to be a big dog as some people make him to be. They would be an interesting matchup. You know, I agree with you on that, but I myself never said that Danny Garcia was too much for Jerome Ennis. Someone made the statement about Jerome Ennis stopping Danny, and I was like, I'm not sure if that's the case because Danny Garcia has proven that he has a motherfucking chin. He's proven that shit. Even though he took a beating in there, he took some punishment. He wore the motherfucking fight against Errol Spence. He still walked up out of there. Danny Garcia didn't get dropped, did he? Like Sean Porter. He didn't get dropped, did he? Did Sean Porter ever drop him? Did Lucas Matisse drop him? Did Robert Guerrero drop him? Did Lamont Peterson? Has anybody like sit up here when he was on his move up to welterweight? I just don't see Jerome Ennis being that guy unless Danny Garcia waits to 2022 and he gets in another tough fight and loses. I don't know. I don't even. I'm gonna tell you the truth. Like the rumor mill that Danny Garcia may move up to 154. I don't know, man. Danny Garcia, man, he about to put himself in a whole nother motherfucking degree of pain, man. Y'all hold on for a minute. So you gotta come back in there and do that. More live. Okay, I'm back. Put that comment up there. Ken say Danny Garcia and Keith Thurman are name brand fights for Ennis or Ortiz. True, they are. They are. Like I said before, I'm hearing Danny Garcia moving up to 154. Now Keith Thurman, there Ken. Yeah, the name itself still has value. Like, I don't want to insinuate that Keith Thurman may be in the same position as Danny Garcia in a little bit, but it's looking that way. It's looking that way. Like Danny Garcia has never beaten a champion at welterweight, right? And now he's become a household name who has still just enough stock to his brand that he can get big fights like Errol Spence, like the Sean Porter. You know what I'm saying? He can get the big fights. But when it comes to Keith Thurman, though, the former unified welterweight champion, we're incapable of gauging what is going on with him right now. Like mentally, where's his mindset where's his mindset when it comes to re-entering the welterweight division and people respect him for it? Like he keeps trying to go at Errol Spence, But when Errol Spence was basically calling him out with the titles, Keith Thurman didn't want to show him no love. Now, I don't know if it was just because Keith Thurman was injured at the time. He didn't want to take that fight, whatever. But he really didn't show Errol Spence any love. And now Errol's being petty, just like freaking Keith Thurman was. He don't even want to show him no love. I'm tired of this shit, man. Especially from black fighters, man. Especially from my people. Like, just because somebody say one motherfucking thing to you, you mad. Like, get the fuck over it. I gotta stay on code, like Dion say with this shit. Like, dude, this boxing. Just because Demetrius Andrade, wanted to switch shit up at the last minute, he don't ever get a title shot. He don't ever get a shot at you no more. It's no way. It's impossible. Just because Keith Thurman didn't show Errol Spence love, there's no way, Errol, that you give him a shot. With one loss, Keith Thurman can't get a shot. What's up with all this? You said this to me, and I'm not gonna show you no love. Like, I'm still mad type of shit. Like, I'm angry. I'm holding grudges over small, petty ass juvenile type shit. I said Ennis may stop Danny, not that Ennis will stop him. I said Ennis may stop Danny, not that Ennis will stop him. Well, you want to put may in between that. It's somewhat like the same thing. All I'm doing is just caveating off what you said, 21. I get it. I mean, you said Ennis may stop Danny. And I'm telling you, I don't see that happening, even if you say may or he would. I don't see it because Danny's been in there with some tough individuals. I mean, just look at when he went in there with Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman landed some hard ass shots on Danny Garcia. Just because, once again, Jerome Ennis stopped Sergey Lipinets, who Mikey Garcia went the distance with, doesn't make him this incredible power puncher. I know, looking at his record with 25 knockouts, you all are saying, okay, but like I just told you, I counted up to the point where he decided to settle down and fight sound opposition. We need to see how the process works for Jerome Ennis once he steps up again. I'm not taking shit away from him. Dude, like I said, his shit was beautiful that night. Like, dude was switching that. It was a sweet fucking science, dog. But Danny Garcia has a reputation for having a respectable beard. So you got to give him that credit. There's no way I can sit up here and say I'm gonna take the performance that he did with Lipinets and say he potentially may stop Danny Garcia. Shit, Danny Garcia may be able to land some shots on Jerome Ennis that he wasn't able to land on Errol Spence. Because once again, you have two different fighters. Jerome Ennis' style is not Errol Spence's style. That is not Jerome Ennis' style is not like Errol Spence. We know that. The smart ones totally get it. Brotherhood, Sports and Conspiracy. What's good? Okay, the Brotherhood, Sports and Conspiracy. All right, we see you. Shout out to Brotherhood. Salute to you. Mr. 21 Strong say Danny at 154 will get stopped and not by one of the big names at 154. See, I don't have nothing to go against the grain with that shit. I totally agree. Danny Garcia got problems at 154. Danny Garcia has some motherfucking problems at 154. And you know what, 21, I agree, man. He may get stopped by somebody that's not a huge name. That name won't be Jeff Horn, of course. But let's say, for instance, I would throw Sebastian Fundora right now. I know people saying Sebastian's already no. He's still working himself up there. But Sebastian Fundora, Danny Garcia will never take that fight. If Danny Garcia stepped in there with Sebastian Fundora, the Towering Inferno, he would get stopped. Period. Sebastian Fundora is one of the most awkward enigmas for his height in boxing. Like, the dude limbs are so lanky, but for him to be able to box on the inside like that is sick. But of course, I'll tell you once again, he fought Daniel Lewis, if that's his name, Daniel Lewis, a very short fighter who didn't have an extended reach on a taller Sebastian Fundora. He was still able to touch him up real nice. He when he was in close, he let his hands go. He was able to touch him up real nice. And like I said before, even Jamonte Clark, I feel that Jamonte Clark handed Sebastian Fundora his first loss, but they didn't give him the win. They did not give Jamonte Clark that win. I felt he beat Sebastian Fundora. But anyway, moving on. Ennis last night didn't show me anything I didn't expect. So that's not why I feel Ennis may stop Danny. Why you feel Ennis will stop Danny? Well, if I'm still off the needle, you know what I'm saying, off the record, just tell me why do you think that Ennis will stop Danny if it's neither of what was said earlier? Why do you think he would stop? If you're not gauging it off his last performance off Lipinets, so what comparison? What are you comparing that? How are you assessing his performance if he was to step in there with Danny Garcia? Where are you extracting his performances, his pluses and minuses, pros and cons, and then providing that evaluation to him stepping in the ring against Danny Garcia? Just let us know. Real talk. Just let us know. I'm curious. I'm curious to know what your thought process on that. Like, if you're not taking it off the Lipinets fight, so where are you gathering the intel from? Like, what points of reference are you using for Jerome Ennis to potentially stop Danny Garcia if you're not taking it from the best fight he had in his career right now with Sergey Lipinets, a fighter who wasn't stopped by who wasn't stopped by Mikey Garcia. He was knocked down in the 7th round, but he wasn't stopped. Go on to answer the bell. And then they have Mikey Garcia go up here with Errol Spence and survive. So seeing Jerome Ennis go ahead and stop Sergey Lipinets a round before he was knocked down versus Mikey Garcia, where are you gauging these your sources of information to say, well, he might give Danny Garcia a problem in stopping him? I just want to know what your thought process is, bro. If he didn't show you anything, I don't know, 21. I'm like, if he didn't show you anything, he showed you something now. Shit. Jerome Ennis was called him Mr. Sweet Signs that night. That dude was that shit was, look, Jerome Ennis was in there dancing his ass off. Period. I ain't lying to you. Ennis and Ortiz are the two top contenders at 147, and both deserve a big fight. They have earned, but they both still need that victory over a named former champ. So talking about a former champ with Ennis and Ortiz, who can it be? Shit, motherfucking Urdinas Ugas. That'll be a good shot for either one of them. But they trying to preserve Ugas, man. You know why they trying to preserve Ugas? They didn't want to provide him with a gift-wrapped championship. So they trying to allow him to at least defend it successfully once. Because he's a much older fighter. They don't want to send him off to the pasture you know, not having defended his title once. So they're trying to find him something. So if he's gonna fight Earl, you know, um, every now and then I hear that they're gonna fight each other. But yeah, or I hear Ugas is pulling out because there's not enough money and all this other shit. A lot of us is saying this. He's not going to have the performance that he did against Sean Porter. So Ugas stepping there against Spence, he's getting beat. And he would have not successfully defended his title once. So why not give it to Virgil Ortiz? Why not give it to Jerome Ennis? Put one of them in there with your Dinas Ugas and shake up the welterweight division. Put one of them in there. Have an eliminator. Fuck it. Have Ennis and Ortiz fight each other, and the winner gets freaking Ugas. And then whoever wins that will shake up the division. They would shake up the welterweight division, man. I would think it would be a much tougher go. You know what I'm saying? And people will tune in much more and light up that spark that's missing. Like the welterweight division, it has potential to bring that fire back, but people are tired of the same storyline fizzling out all the time. It's just smoldering, man. It's just like you see that shit from a distance and you know what campsite it is. You know what I'm saying? And the shit just burning and smoldering and just smoking like SOS signals. You know what I'm saying? You motherfuckers, you know what's over there, but you don't care because it's the same line over and over again. Same situation. Spence and Terrence, they want to see Spence and Crawford. Spence and Crawford. It's nowhere close. So in between that, what can we do? We can get Ortiz and freaking Ennis. Why not? Make that shit pop. The winner fight Ugas. The winner of that fight whoever, Spence or Crawford. And so we can get to a position of Jermell Charlo and Brian Castano. That's what we want to see. Be honest with you. That's what we want to see. Somebody got to get that smoke. They coming. They coming there, Ken. I agree. They already there, really. You know what I'm saying? They already there. But now that they are at the door, now the politics comes into play. Now we got to see who's on the access list. You know what I'm saying? That's what it comes down now. Who's on the access list? Now it comes down to politics. Now it comes down to money. That's really the biggest deal of it all. Hold on for a second. Okay. I am looking at Danny last outing more than Ennis. Okay. Performance in his last fight. I always said pressure and work rate could get Danny out, and Ennis has had just okay. So you're basically looking at what Errol Spence was able to do with Danny Garcia and what Ennis was able to do with Sergey Lipinets. I understand what you're saying. And what you put on there makes sense. I get where you coming from your perspective. But once again, I have to take you to the point of reference that when you're comparing Danny last outing to Errol Spence, stylistically, Danny Garcia and Errol Spence style match up perfect. They match up perfect because Danny Garcia, he loves to stand there in the pocket, flat-footed, and fight and bang it out. That's tailor-made for Errol Spence. That's tailor-made. But check this out. If you look at the Ennis success with Sergey Lipinets, shit, Sergey Lipinets motherfucker has cinder blocks on his ankles. But the one thing about Danny Garcia, though, he took a beating from Errol Spence. We really don't know the true raw power that Ennis possessed yet. We can't just say it's Sergey Lipinets. He stopped him and Mikey didn't. I mean, come on. I know. Virgil Ortiz said, Mikey Garcia has this incredible, power, right? But once again, World Combat Sports, I got to give you the damn comparison. Go back to when he fought Robert Easter. He fought Robert Easter 135 and dropped him in the third round, didn't he? Robert Easter didn't stay on the canvas. He boxed. He boxed. He didn't get stopped. He boxed Mikey Garcia. So when I look at Ennis stepping in there with Danny Garcia, Ennis is fully aware that Danny Garcia, in a lot of people's minds, has more punching power than Sergey Lipinets. Danny Garcia potential for landing a shot on Jerome Ennis and having an effect, it may potentially happen. That shit may potentially happen. Danny Garcia, if he's able to stay there and he's switching stances and he's letting his hands go, Danny Garcia may get his timing down enough to land a solid shot on Ennis. And then we're going to look at it like, okay, how did Ennis take that shot? Did he show some ill signs that, his chin is not the best? Or did he take it well and keep on moving? When did Sergey Lipinets have Mikey Garcia in trouble? Mikey just chose to box off the motherfucking back foot majority of the fight with Sergey Lipinets. You know what I'm saying? But your point makes a lot of sense. I'm just comparing the opposition and I'm comparing the tiers. Errol Spence is on a whole nother tier than Sergey Lipinets when it comes to welterweight. Ennis, that was his best performance and his top opposition at welterweight. Sergey Lipinets, hands down. But no way, shape, or form is Sergey Lipinets Danny Garcia. With Sergey Lipinets versus Danny Garcia would have been a much longer fight? We don't know, man, because, stylistically, once again, you got two guys that's going to be standing in the pocket, throwing some hard-ass shots, right? And we know Danny Garcia is not as versatile as what we've seen from Jerome Ennis. That's point blank. Jerome Ennis was Mr. Sweet Science that night. That's the shit you look at and be like, shit, it do exist in boxing. Okay. He was boxing. Motherfucker was boxing. Jerome Ennis was fucking boxing, y'all. This dude was having fun. But with Danny Garcia being around the block as he did, man, that's a good debate. You know what I'm saying? That's a good debate. But I don't see Danny Garcia fighting Jerome Ennis at welterweight. I don't see it. And you have to look at it this way too, that 21. That Jerome Ennis is not a big name like that. Like, what has he done outside of fighting Sergey Lipinets? He's not a big PPV star. He's not, selling tickets like that to the point where people can say, okay, main event him and put him on this card. I mean, you can't do that just yet. But he will be there. Boots will be there. He keeps performing the way he did against top-level opposition. He's going to be there. And he's going to be exciting to watch, man. The same thing I said about Shakur Stevenson. He's going to be exciting to watch. Illmatic, that eliminator scenario sounds good. I like it. I ain't going to lie. I mean, that's been the case, though. They was going to fight for a WBA eliminator. You know what I'm saying? That's what they was fighting for. If you look back several months, Jerome Ennis, when it comes to this ranking system, Jerome Ennis made himself, I mean, he was climbing that ladder. Yeah, that shit had wheels on it. They moved him up there swiftly. You talking about from Eurobov back in January 2020. January 2020 now. This is before the pandemic hit. This awkward Eurobov. He stopped in 4 rounds, but this dude was awkward as shit. No one knows who Eurobov is. He was 14-1-1. No one knows who he is. That's like Zaur Abdullayev. No one know who he was. And then he comes back in September and fight Juan Carlos Abreu. I mean, he's had an outstanding rise on the backside of that pandemic. He was able to fight twice in 2020 after he fought the entryway into 2020 from the pandemic, and then Jerome Ennis returned in September and December and fought 2 more fights. And then to kickstart his 2021 boxing season, he fights Sergey Lipinets. I would say his manager, Cameron Duncan, did a damn good job. He was able to get that man 3 fights in 2020 where certain individuals wasn't even fighting, period. This man fought 3 times. So, man, that's crazy. If Danny wouldn't let his hands go against Errol, what would Ennis' hand speed do to Danny? And Ennis is very accurate. Yeah, hey, you have once again, you have a solid point. But you have to look at it in this perspective when it comes to boxing, though. You're saying what Ennis was able to do against Sergey Lipinets. Sergey Lipinets is not Danny Garcia. So therefore, we have to see Jerome Ennis in there with top name oppositions in order to sustain what he was able to do to Sergey Lipinets, in order to prove or in order to make a point. I can't make a point, really. I can't 100% agree with you, 21, when you're comparing the performance that he had with Sergey Lipinets and what he was able to do, and taking a fighter like Danny Garcia, in my opinion, that will present a different type of scenario, offensive scenario for Jerome Ennis. I'm not saying he won't be, be able to get off the way he did against Sergey. I'm just saying that Danny Garcia, he has more power than Sergey. So therefore, if Jerome Ennis was, able to let his hands go, and Danny Garcia was able to get in there and find the opening, a lot of people are going to be curious to see if Danny Garcia could hurt Jerome Ennis. We don't know that. But make no mistake about it, Sergey Lipinets is not Danny Garcia, bro. Now, let me give you this favor, right? If Jerome Ennis goes in there with Danny Garcia and he performs equal to better than what he was able to do with Sergey Lipinets, and of course, if he was to be the first one to stop Danny Garcia, then of course my narrative to you is going to be, damn, you was right. You was right, period. You was right. But me and provide my analytics, I just can't go off and say, well, Jerome Ennis, he looked this way against Sergey Lipinets, he's going to do it to Danny Garcia. That's just not the way I put a scope on that motherfucker. I just don't look at it that way. I just look at Sergey Lipinets being who he is. His ankle weight type style. You know what I'm saying? Look at how Sergey Lipinets was able to fight Mikey Garcia and have him boxing off the back foot. But look how Jerome Ennis had Sergey Lipinets looking. I mean, you got to look at a Danny Garcia who stepped in there with Sean Porter too. Sean Porter even switched up his offensive strategy against Danny Garcia. Sean Porter is used to that grimy ass chest to head type down brawling ass style. Even he switched up his style against Danny Garcia. You know why? Because they respected the power that he had. And then I think when Danny Garcia landed some of his hardest shots, Sean Porter was like, I'm good. Sean Porter, man, he is who he is, man. Like Sean Porter, he's proven that he can switch up and fight different and be successful. And then he's proven that if you take him and put him in there with a fighter like Errol Spence, someone who has the IQ, just a little peephole during the storm to see what Sean Porter is doing and to take advantage of that one little opening with that left hook, he can get it done. And that's what Errol Spence was able to do. He ended up down landing that left hook in the 11th round, and he got this, he basically dropped him, and that pretty much separated the judge's decision in handing that fight to Errol. If that knockout wouldn't have happened, who knows what would have the results would have been. If Danny, let's see. Sean Porter said it first, and some other fighters are saying the same thing. We want no parts of Boots. Hey, man. Right now, Boots, man. I'm not saying I ain't sold on him. I give the man mad respect. The way he fought Yurbov and the way he fought Lipinets, I'm telling you, looking at somebody be able to perform the way he did, dance in the ring, move around, just let his hands just serenade his opponents. His hands was serenading motherfucking Lipinets. For real. What they say in motherfucking wrestling entertainment, he was giving him that sweet chin music. Man, Jerome Ennis was giving Lipinets that sweet chin music. I ain't gonna lie. And that shit was entertaining. And Boots, if he's able to continue, I'm not just hopping on all this shit. Like, if he's able to continue these type of performances while increasing his level of opposition, then he will indeed be that superstar. He will indeed be the superstar. Like, people, okay, check this out. Errol Spence gained a lot more fans when he went over there in the backyard. We're taking the area for which he went over there to earn his first world title. He went into the backyard of Kell Brook, fought through hell, and was able to get the stoppage. He earned a lot more of his fan base in that fight right there. It showed that he can fight through the storm and adversity, and he can win a world championship. We're still waiting for that from Ennis. We have to see that happen with Ennis. We have to. Like, he can have all the Lamont Petersons, the Chris Algieri fights. We can't put Carlos Ocampo up there. That's the Euroball fight. That's the shit that should be out the window. But we need to see Ennis in some of these other fights, like the Sean Porter fight. In comparison, we need to see him in a grimy type of style like Sean Porter gave Errol Spence. You know what I'm saying? We need to see it, because that was one of the best fights of the year, Errol Spence and Sean Porter. And at 47, before we sit up here and compare him to the legend, we need to see him in some fights where it challenges him and force him to switch his shit up and make changes up in there. Fight through adversity. People say it all the time. It's boxing language. We need to see Errol Spence do, more, perform in a manner for which it's a tougher opposition for him. That's going to give him more of a challenge. Period. I mean, it's no knock against Ennis. It's no knock against him, but come on, Sergey Lipinets though. I mean, what did Sergey Lipinets do that Jeff Horn didn't do? I mean, nobody's giving really Crawford credit for defeating Jeff Horn when he had a belt. But yet you can't boost up Jerome Ennis for defeating Sergey Lipinets in such a dominant fashion and stopping him. When who is Sergey Lipinets attached to though at welterweight? Who is he attached to? That's my biggest question. Who is he attached to at welterweight? That you can say, oh man, okay. The only thing people attaching this shit to is Sergey Lipinets had a previous fight with Garcia, and then Ennis went in there and showed us that beauty, that motherfucking beauty when it comes to boxing. He was like a photographer over in that motherfucker. He was just giving you different flashes. He was adjusting the ISO, the aperture. You know what I'm saying? The shutter speed. He was giving you everything you wanted as a fan of boxing. That's what Jerome Ennis did. He was giving you the JPEG. He was giving you the raw. Shit. He was giving you everything. Adjusting the lighting in that motherfucker until he dimmed the ISO and shit went black. V10, what's good? Heyman will decide who Porter fights next. The fighters have zero say. So what you mean? What you mean exactly? Fighters have zero say. Fighters does have a say. Like you've had fighters turn down fights, so fighters do have a say. They might not have 85% say, but to say that to put it out there, they have 0% is being untruthful with yourself. Fighters have a say because they're not robots. So whenever someone brings a fighter up, they're trying to match make. Of course, they reach out. They reach out to the fighter's team, their manager, their advisor, whoever it is. They say, this is who we thinking about matching him up with. What y'all think about that? And then they have a talk. So you think a fighter has zero say is just you not being truthful with yourself, man. They do. They have say. Real talk. I'm just keeping it 100. They have say, man. Seriously. Just if you want to elucidate just a little bit more, clarify what you're saying as far as Al Heyman and fighters have zero say. Look, if Al Heyman was over there at PBC, if he was running PBC as if it was a psych ward, and he was in charge of the asylum, it would be a lot less success over there at PBC. He's not running them like they're the patient. And every time they want to speak up, they give them medication and inject some shit in them and tell them to be quiet. And then before they know it, they got to get in fight camp. They say, well, what I'm going in the fight camp for? Who am I fighting? Oh, you fighting this person. When do we talk about this? Don't worry about it. If you want to stay out of the white padded room, don't worry about it. I don't think Al Heyman running a shop like that, bro. They definitely speak to the fighters in their team. That's just obvious. That's just common sense when it comes to the boxing. Motherfuckers ain't just walking through the ropes when they start their camp and say, did y'all ever figure out who I'm fighting yet? Oh, I'm fighting him? Oh, shit. Okay. Dang. Mark Nash, what's good? Salute Mark Nash Breaking Beats, man. What's good with you? Go check him out. Subscribe to his channel. Yeah, man, you're a little late, but I figure you was over there doing your thing, man. I'm just doing this because tomorrow night, I'm definitely gonna be in the field, and I'm definitely gonna be on the grind. So I'm trying to post some more videos of some individuals that's on deck. You saw me post a pic with Mike Stafford and Levi and William Jackson this today. There's some people that's already down. So I'm hoping to get y'all some more videos of some individuals. I really don't want to mention their name, because if I mention their name and it don't happen, like I always say, y'all gonna be like, oh man, that motherfucker always talking about this, that, and the other, but he don't produce shit. I just rather produce it and then you all take it from there. You feel me? So it's some people that's supposed to be in town tomorrow, and I'm definitely gonna try to goddamn lens the moment, get an interview, get some pics, and so the WCS supporters can enjoy the boxing. Of course, I want to try to get the main event. Of course, I'm gonna try to talk to the main event, but I don't know how that's gonna work. Real talk, I don't know. I might not be able to get close to him. I'm liking Ben Askren though. I'm liking Ben Askren. True Combat Sports. Okay, I knew there's a reason why this shit went over here. Okay, check this out. Ken say smash the like button. I appreciate you, Ken. I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you. You always coming here, telling people to do what seems easy, but it's good, to hear the supporters talk that shit. So I appreciate you. Did y'all hear what Jake Paul said? I told you that Ben Askren came in here and his open workout looked solid. I was like, damn, this man just had a hip replacement. Fuck. And then he goes in there and he does mitts for like over 7 minutes. This man is doing mitts for over 7 minutes. That is not easy. First and foremost, that ain't easy. So Jake Paul comes in there and gives us some type of motherfucking Keith Thurman and on top of a mountain doing freaking yoga and playing a flute. Like he's over there doing some damn yoga shit. It was a letdown. First of all, because we're looking to see how your hands look. And if you are what you say you are, don't go in there acting like all of a sudden the videos that we've been seeing out on social media, you don't want to show us now you in the A. I mean, what is that, dog? Like, you're trying to act like it's still a secret weapon when it comes to combat sports. Like, at your level, Jake Paul, at your level, you truly understand when you signed the fight that you was in there with an individual who's been to the top of wrestling in Ben Askren and also the Olympics. And furthermore, he was 18-0 when he crossed over to the UFC. He was 18 and motherfucking 0. So you in there with a top tier athlete, period. For him to come in there and do those, perform those stretches and all this other shit and then jump rope, I think he may have jump rope maybe 25, 30 seconds, if that. And then he flailed his hands around like he really didn't want to be there, like he wasn't going to show us anything. Then hit the mitts. Didn't do shit. I mean, why? Why come down here to the ATL and you don't give us what we want? Like, I understand they say, oh, well, he got to step in the ring. He going to do it there. I get it. But this media shit, before the pandemic, that's what we yearn for. We yearn for people to have an open workout so we can take pictures, get interviews, and interact with the fighters. You being a YouTube personality, stepping in here for the biggest fight of your life, not career, because I don't know where your career is at, but your life, you didn't give us anything. So anyway, Jake Paul goes on and say, yeah, I've been to the doctor and they say I have, early signs of CTE damage. So now he's trying to bring up CTE damage. Am I missing some people? Jake Paul is saying that, yeah, it's true that you heard that I went to the doctor and they say I have early signs of CTE damage. So if that's the case, why are you at the boxing match then? Like, we're looking forward to you going in there doing the same shit you did to Nate the Great, Nate Robinson. You flatlined him, and you was all over social media tomorrow. You knocked out a professional basketball player and a dunk champion. I mean, come on, bro. Ben Askren is that dude that looks goofy as fuck, and he would fuck you up. Ben Askren wrestling. Jake Paul said he wants to wrestle Ben Askren. Let me tell you something, Jake Paul. If you wrestle Ben Askren, it'll be worse than you stepping in the ring with boxing gloves. Ben Askren will ragdoll you, and you better hope it's no camera that's hot. Ben Askren will ragdoll Jake Paul. He will embarrass him in wrestling. That's how much of a high-level athlete Ben Askren is. It's just at a point right now that they're using nothing but their left and right hands in a ring, and Jake Paul is a young hitter in the sport, and he's had a lot of big names train him in the sport. Like he has Jay Love train him. I've seen Evander Holyfield. Man, I've seen some of everybody talking with Jake Paul. Jorge Masvidal. Man, I'm seeing all these people gather around and provide Jake Paul with all these tips. So the only thing that's left to do, right, is execute. And we're going to see this weekend. We're going to see if Jake Paul is able to go in there and have Ben Askren talking a different tune after the fight. You know what I'm saying? I'm curious to see if he's able to do that, people. Real talk. And, that's exactly where I will be tomorrow. The motherfucking, the operation has already started today, but tomorrow I definitely will be in the proximity. It's going to be busy as fuck. I'm going to be at Teofimo Lopez and George Kambosos' freaking press conference that they're having tomorrow. They're going to announce their June 5th bout. Yeah, Teofimo Lopez is already down here. George Kambosos is down here. And they're going to have their presser tomorrow. Matter of fact, I'm not sure if they're down here. Somebody said I'm not sure. We're doing this via Zoom. I'm not sure if T.O.'s physically going to be at the fight. I'm not sure. I'm gonna stand corrected on that. But we will be at the press conference tomorrow via Zoom for Teofimo Lopez and George Kambosos. I'm definitely going to try to bring you all that. Bruce, what's good, man? Salute WCS and family. What's good? What's good? Boots is the truth, the real boogeyman. I agree. I think Boots can be given that title right now, big dog, as being the boogeyman. Major Key Boxing in the building. Salute to you. I truly believe that Boots can be given the boogeyman. Now, what Arrow has to say about that, I don't know. But I truly believe right now the potential that he has to shake up the welterweight division is here. It's here. So we need to show him that love. You know what I'm saying? It's here. I like what I'm saying. It's good to see a boxer come in here and just give you all different type of variety. Like I give you southpaw, unorthodox. I give you an uppercut, give you a hook, jab. I give you damn a punch set that'll make you smile. And all that shit is going to be on time. That's what we've seen. The accuracy that Boots Ennis had. It just make you smile when you talk about the sweet signs. Like, imagine what his sparring partners was going through. The sparring partners is like, hey, coach, man, what we doing here? This dude fucking me up for real. I got a fight coming up in 3 months. I can't see where the punch is coming from. Somebody need to put a motherfucking some damn webcams or some damn some doorbell security around the ring or something. So put some monitors because I can't see shit. That's all I'm saying. But we'll see what happens, y'all. But this is what I want y'all to do though. Keep faith. Like I said earlier, be sure to tune in to Dion, the Equalizer Nicholson, 14-0. He's facing Apoche, and Apoche is 10-0. It's gonna be a damn good fight on Fox. Check that fight out this weekend, man. And Triller is going down in here at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. It's a lot of buzz behind it. Um, I was able to interview Frank Mir, Quentin Randall, William Jackson. I talked to William Jackson this morning. Him and Mike Stafford and Levi down already. You know, I haven't seen Joe Fournier yet. He's the multimillionaire. He's down here to fight, face Ray Khan, the artist, the music artist. And I haven't ran into Regis though, but believe me, if the opportunity presents itself tomorrow, I'm gonna get a hold of Regis. I'm definitely gonna get a hold of to Red Catch if he has an interpreter around. You know what I'm saying? I doubt it, but it's gonna be some fighters. I ran into another fighter that's with my boy Carlos. His boy is on the undercard. You know what I'm saying? He was down here. He's fighting on the undercard also. I think his name is Abachi. Let me see. Let me make sure I'm pronouncing that right. I just know he's on the undercard though. I really want to run into Stephen Cunningham and Frank Mir, if that's the case. Frank Mir give me the vibe that he's gonna be in his room the entire weekend. You know what I'm saying? He just gives me that vibe. You know, Steve Cunningham. I think I'm gonna catch him somewhere in the lobby. I think I'm sure of it. I think I'm gonna catch him in the lobby, y'all. Seriously. If you didn't see Steve Cunningham work out, he's in tremendous shape to be out the ring since 2017. I mean, unfucking believable. Dude has absolutely been keeping his body under the label of salubrity and fine health and wellness, and he's been on a great job wherever he's been training at, what he's been putting into his body. He looked like he's ready to step in the ring, man. He's been out the ring, for a little bit, but he's in great shape. He's in damn good shape. Frank Mir, cardio wise, he's gonna have to deal with it. He's gonna have to find out if he can't take out Stephen Cunningham in the early round. Guess what? He might find himself, on the bad end of a knockout because Cunningham looked like he can go as many rounds as they schedule the fight. So he ain't gonna have a problem with that. He's not gonna have a problem with it. Bruce, great conversation the other night. Earned attention and respect. Major keeper, salute. But I appreciate everyone who pulled up. You know what I'm saying? Everyone who pulled up. Stay tuned. Stay supporting the channel. World Combat Sports. I appreciate you. This is fight week in many different ways than one. You know what I'm saying? You have Robert Whitaker. He's going to be facing Kevin Gastelum. I'm pretty sure that fight card is coming up, but I really didn't want to mix that in with, talking about the boxing aspect today. But like I said, Dion Equalizer Nicholson, 14-0. Check him out. He has over 90% knockout percentage, and he's facing Ipochi. And this is going to be a cruiserweight eliminator for the title. I like it. It allows him to go ahead and fight, get Ipochi out the way, and then, for the title shot. I like it. And, salute Dion Nicholson. If you don't have anything that's pressing, try to tune into the fight and check him out. He's a very exciting fighter. He's going to be on the co-main event of Tony Harrison. All right. He's going to be the co-main event of that fight. So peek them out, show support. And also, I'm definitely, if I can, the Triller, the PPV portion, I will be taking pictures, because that's my half side hustle too, photography. I am going to try to provide y'all with some pretty solid pictures of the fight. And I really hope to get some good ones with, the entire card that's on the main card, the PPV. The other 3 cards before that, they're just going to be streamed on Triller. But the other ones, the main card, they're going to be actually on PPV. So that's going to be my stilo. I'm going to be long range with this Oopa Scooper photography. I'm going to put the 200 on there so I can zoom down in the ring, and hopefully I'm at a nice elevation and close enough to get some good shots of Jake Paul, Ben Askren, because those going to look good. Put a little editing to it and do what I do. But until that, people, stay close to the mic and tune in to World Combat Sports.